feel like this question has been asked time and time again, and that question is, what is the most fun class in World of Warcraft? And today we're going to answer that question. We're going to base it off of 5 different things, and that is number 1, the fun factor, number 2, the lore and the theme behind the class, number 3, the DPS or the performance behind the class, number 4, the aesthetics, and that is how visually appealing the class is or its abilities are, and number 5, which I feel like is pretty important, is how does the 11.0.5 patch impact the class coming up? Based off those 5 things, we're going to find the right class for you, so let's get started. All right, let's kick it off with Death Knights, your friendly neighborhood, once dead but not really, plate-wearing anti-heroes. You get to swing around massive rune blades, command legions of the undead, and oh yeah, you're basically an ex-villain looking for redemption. Casual, right? Whether you want to tank like an immortal vampire with blood, freeze everything in your path with frost, or spread disease like an actual plague lord with unholy, Death Knights offer a unique mix of power, darkness, and did I really just raise an army of ghouls type of vibes. Playing one feels like you've got power of the Lich King himself, except without, you know, that whole enslaving the soul part. Yeah. Speaking of the lore, oh, it's juicy. The Lich King himself created you. Death Knights were forced to serve as his champions, destroying everything in their path before they broke free. Ever heard of Arthas Menethil? Yeah, this is the class that mirrors his tragic fall from grace. You're essentially wielding the power of death and trying to make sure it doesn't consume you. It's like The Walking Dead meets Lord of the Rings, but with much cooler armor. Frosty Ks are hitting hard right now in AoE situations, but could use some improvements in the single target category. And Unholy is all about the long haul, disease-riddled damage, but they pump. If you're looking for a tank who laughs at the idea of dying, Blood Decay is still top tier in Mythic Plus dungeons. Let's be honest, watching your health bar yo-yo back and forth like some wild roller coaster is half the fun. The aesthetics of Death Knights are dark runes, glowing weapons, blackened armor. Death Knights look like they were born in a Tim Burton nightmare. If you want to walk into battle looking like the final boss of a dark fantasy game, Death Knight is your class. In the upcoming 11.0.5 patch, Blood Death Knights are getting an update that while Dancing Rune weapon is active, you gain Gift of the Sandlane, which was Vampiric Blood before. Frost Death Knights are getting hit with a nerf where Glacial Advance is now at 80% effectiveness, no longer at 100%, and there's no significant changes for Unholy at this time.
Best for the Goths of Azeroth, who think black armor and skulls are a lifestyle choice, not a phase. You like your coffee black and your power's darker.
Now for the counterpart of Death Knights, we have Demon Hunters. So Demon Hunters, because wings, horns, and eye beams were clearly missing from your MMO experience. This class is for those of you who think, sure, being immortal is fine, but what if I literally became a demon? Whether you're slicing through enemies at Mach 5 speeds as Havoc or tanking like an absolute beast as Vengeance, Demon Hunters are all about momentum. You're mobile, you're flashy, you've got an arsenal of chaotic abilities that make you feel unstoppable. Plus, let's be real, nothing's more satisfying than jumping off of a cliff and gliding to safety while everyone else is looking for a safe path. Illidan Stormrage, the original emo elf himself, sacrificed everything, and so did you as a demon hunter. You took the demon inside you because why not fight fire with, well, more fire? Your lore is all about defying expectation, branded as traitors by your own people, but the only ones with the powers to stop the Legion. It's like being in the ultimate rebellious phase, except this one involves fellfire and soul-crushing responsibilities. Havoc is a top-tier contender right now, tearing through bosses with insane mobility and powerful AoE. Vengeance is a solid tank too, jumping around, taking damage, and throwing fire at your enemies. It's like someone mixed a tank with a rogue, and you gotta be that glorious mix. Glowing tattoos, fel-infused eyes, and wings that appear whenever you need to escape a bad situation. Everything a demon hunter screams edgy, but in the best way possible. If you've ever dreamed about looking like the villain and the hero at the same time, you found your class. In the upcoming 11.0.5 patch, expect some tweaks to Havoc's AoE damage and Fury generation, while Vengeance is getting defensive buffs that'll make you even harder to kill in those Mythic Plus runs. You'll be even more of a fel-powered juggernaut.
Best if you're a fan of fast-paced action, glowing tattoos, and think turning into a demon is a perfectly reasonable way to handle stress. Think John Wick but with wings and glaze. Basically, you're the rock star of WoW.
Next up, we have our Druids. Druids because sometimes being just one thing is too boring. Can't decide between tanking, healing, or DPS? Why not do it all as a bear or a cat or even a tree? Druids are all about versatility. Balanced druids, aka boomkins, aka boomies, get to rain down stars and lasers from the moon. Feral druids sneak around shredding enemies as a sleek lethal cat. Guardian druids tank as a giant angry bear, and resto druids heal as nature's best friend, sometimes in tree form. No matter what role you want to play, druids give you the option to shapeshift and get it done. It's the most flexible class in the game because you can be ranged DPS, melee DPS, a tank, or a healer. You literally get 4 specs. It's insane. Druid's lore runs deep with characters like Malfurion, Stormrage embodying the class. Druids are the protectors of nature, defenders of the Emerald Dream, and are basically Azeroth's eco-warriors. The entire class is about balance between nature and civilization, life and death. It's like playing Captain Planet but with claws, feathers, and moonfire. Balanced druids are in a pretty good spot right now for raid DPS, especially in AoE situations. Feral druids have seen some improvements too, making it viable in single target encounters. Guardian druids are solid tanks able to soak up tons of damage, and restoration is, as always, one of the strongest healing specs thanks to all those juicy hots. Hots being heal over time. Yeah, just clarifying. Druids have some of the most unique visuals in the game, whether you're a moonkin flapping around and shooting stars or a sleek jungle camp prowling through the shadows, you look distinct. And let's not forget the shapeshifting. No class is as visually dynamic. The upcoming patch is going to have several changes, but only for balance and resto. Sorry tanks, sorry feral, you guys aren't getting a lot of love in 11.0.5, but it is what it is.
For the shapeshifter and all of us, druids are for players who want to tank, heal, and blast moon lasers, all while turning into a bear, cat, or tree. If you ever watched Teen Wolf and thought, why stop at wolf? Let's throw in a magical chicken and moon-powered bear, then druid is your class. Perfect for nature lover with commitment issues, because why do one thing when you can be everything?
Thinking bows and arrows? It's time to check out the Hunter. Hunters, whether you're tracking beasts through the wilderness or sniping enemies from afar, hunters are the masters of survival and range combat. And if you ever wanted to control animals and arrows, this is your class. Hunters bring a unique blend of range damage and pet management. Beastmasters let you tame the wildest creatures, making your pets a part of the action. Marksman hunters, on the other hand, are all about precision, lining up that perfect shot to drop enemies from a distance, and then there's survival. A melee hunter spec that laughs in the face of danger, getting up close and personal with traps and spears. If you ever wanted to feel like Rexar charging into battle with your beast at your side, you'll find your place as a hunter. Speaking of Rexar, he's one of the iconic hunters in World of Warcraft, representing the rugged beast wrangling side of the class. But let's not forget Sylvanas Windrunner, the dark, cold marksmanship master whose precision with a bow is unparalleled. As we move into patch 11.0.5, hunters are vibing with some serious Sylvanas energy. Changes to kill shot and aim shot are all about that cold, calculated lethality that Sylvanas is known for. Whether you're going beast mode like Rexar or taking a more methodical approach like Sylvanas, hunters straddle both with wild and the tactical. Marksmanship hunters are shining in the current DPS rankings. Their burst of damage is off the charts, with abilities like True Shot and Aim Shot making them a top contender in both PvE and PvP. Beast Mastery hunters excel in sustained damage, with their pets doing a significant portion of the work, while survival hunters have a unique blend of melee and rage combat, offering strong utility in dungeons and battlegrounds. Whether you're rocking the wild aesthetics of Rexar with beasts at your side or channeling Sylvanas' icy cool vibes with precision shots, hunters have a wide variety of looks. Beast Mastery's pet collection is a huge draw. Think Pokemon right here. Gotta catch them all. You can tame anything from a ferocious raptor to a cuddly panda if that's more your style. In 11.0.5, all of the specializations are getting some kind of change. Beastmasters are getting brand new talents, marksmanship hunters are getting brand new talents, and survival are seeing overall buffs almost across the board. Either way, it's a good time to be a hunter. The overall vibe is leaning more towards precision and impactful damage, really leaning in towards that Windrunner legacy.
Perfect for those who think Robin Hood should have had more pets, have a borderline obsession with catching them all, and are still convinced that Sylvanas is the best thing to happen to WoW since the invention of the bow.
But what if bows and arrows are not really your thing? Mages, for when you want to control the elements, bend time, and possibly turn your enemies into sheep. Because why defeat your enemies when you can humiliate them first? Mages are masters of the arcane, and every spec brings something magical to the table. Arcane mages hit like trucks with huge bursts of magic. Fire mages burn everything to the ground, and frost mages, they freeze enemies in place, laughing as they kite them around like puppets. The class is all about being a glass cannon, Paladin, which makes landing a perfectly timed pyroblast or freezing an entire crowd of mobs incredibly satisfying. Mages have deep lore rooted into the study of arcane magic, with iconic figures like Jaina Proudmoore and Khadgar leading the way. They're powerful, intellectual, and often the ones holding back the forces of chaos with their mastery of the arcane arts. Whether defending Dalaran or battling demons, mages are often the heroes or anti-heroes behind the scenes. Right now, fire mages are excelling at burst-heavy fights. Arcane mages are incredibly strong in single target encounters with their huge mana dumps, but require skillful management of cooldowns. Frost mages, on the other hand, are the kings of control, slowing and freezing everything in sight while delivering solid DPS. It's a class that rewards mastery of timing and positioning. From bright, fiery explosions to freezing spells and arcane blasts, mages make every fight look spectacular. The colors and visuals associated with each spec are a constant reminder of how cool it is to command the elements. Also, turning your enemies into sheep is just iconic. In the upcoming 11.0.5 patch, Arcane is getting a new ability called Ether Vision, which essentially buffs your Arcane Barrage. Arcane's getting hit with a few nerfs, this time to Time Loop and Lay Drinker. For Fire, it's getting buffed so its AoE is a little bit better, and Frost will see some buffs coming its way to further improve its spec.
Best for the intellectuals who'd rather cast spells from the backline and turn their enemies into sheep. If you're secretly Hermione Granger and love showing off that big brain energy, welcome to the Mage life.
Monks. Imagine if Jackie Chan went on a spiritual journey and learned how to heal with the power of chi, and then when fighting kicks ass with kegs of beer. That's basically Monk. Monks are the ultimate martial artists. Whether you're tanking as a Brewmaster, healing with the power of Chi as Mistweaver, or delivering rapid fire punches and kicks as Windwalker, every ability feels fluid and dynamic, like you're constantly in motion. Brewmaster's tanking is a hilarious chaotic experience, weaving in dodges and keg smashes. Windwalker, you're a whirlwind of fists and feet, with insane mobility to boot. Monks originated in Pandaria, where they embrace balance, Chi, and the art of combat without weapons. Lore-wise, characters like Chen and Turan embody the strength, discipline, and wisdom of the class. They're all about finding inner peace while still being able to dropkick a demon in the face. Talk about balance. Windwalker monks are known for their mobility and high burst DPS, especially in AoE situations. Brewmaster monks, while unconventional, are one of the most durable tanks in the game, dodging and mitigating damage in creative ways. Mistweaver monks bring powerful healing through their unique blend of direct heals and healing over time spells. Monks have one of the most unique aesthetic styles in the game. Think flowing robes, glowing fists, and beautifully animated martial arts moves. Plus, you get to summon spirit animals and throw kegs of beer around. What's not to love? In the upcoming 11.0.5 patch, Mistweavers are getting all the love with a set of buffs across the board. Blackout Kick will hit harder, and abilities like Life Cocoon and Ancient Teachings have been enhanced, making survivability and healing output more powerful.
Monks are for the Zen Master who believe every problem can be solved with a good brew and a swift roundhouse kick. If you've ever watched Kung Fu Panda and thought, yeah, that's my vibe, this is your class.
Paladins, they're like that friend that's always ready to save the day, except for they're literally glowing and smiting evil wherever they go. No big deal. Paladins are all about righteous power, smashing skulls as retribution, protecting your allies as protection, or healing with the light as holy. Ret Paladins hit hard and feel incredibly satisfying when your sword comes down in a golden beam of justice. Protection Paladins, you're basically a walking fortress, dishing out damage while shrugging off hits. And Holy Paladins bring a hybrid playstyle, healing while throwing shields at enemies. Paladins are the chosen warriors of light, with legendary characters like Uther the Lightbringer and Tyrion Fordring leading the way. Their lore is steeped in righteousness, sacrifice, and duty. They're the shining beacon of hope in a world constantly teetering on the edge of darkness. It's basically like playing a knight, but with divine powers to back you up. Currently, Paladin specialization vary in performance. Ret Paladins are mid-tier, offering solid damage, but falling behind top DPS classes in high-end content. Prot Paladins are struggling in the tank meta, ranking lower than more favored tanks. Meanwhile, Holy Paladins are performing well in raid healing, though they are still outclassed by some of the other healer classes. Glowing armor, shields of light, and divine judgment raining down on your foes, Paladins look epic. In 11.0.5, Paladin changes are primarily buffs, especially for Prot Paladins and Ret Paladins, with increased healing for Word of Glory and damage boost for Shields of Righteousness. Several new talents focus on improving utility, survivability, and mobility, such as Worthy Sacrifice and Steed of Liberty. Notable buffs include reduced cooldowns on key abilities like Judgment and Hammer of Justice, alongside improvements to talent efficiency. While some talents have been removed, power has been shifted back into the core abilities, further enhancing Paladin effectiveness in various situations. Peripherals.
Best for those who have a strong Lord of the Rings vibes and feel like Aragorn would have been better with glowing armor and a divine hammer. Paladins are for you, righteousness and smashing things with holy light, yes please.
Priests, well, they're a little different in World of Warcraft. They're the embodiment of duality. One minute you're a beacon of light saving your allies from the brink of death, and the next you're diving deep into the shadows twisting the minds of your enemies. It's like being a moral tightrope walker. Are you feeling angelic, or are you about to pull out your shadowy alter ego and watch the world burn? It's a spiritual roller coaster, and you get to decide which way the wind blows. Priests are a hybrid of healing and damage, giving you the option to either mend the wounded as a holy or disciplined priest, or revel in the darkness as a shadow priest. Discipline in particular feels unique because it blends damage and healing. Why pick one when you can do both at the same time? And shadow priests? Oh, they're just hanging out in the void, blasting minds and melting faces while looking super creepy. Priests have been around since the beginning, guiding Azeroth's people through the powers of light and shadow. Characters like Tyrande Whisperwind show the strength of the priesthood, embodying divine wisdom and raw power. While most priests embrace the light, the allure of the void, hello shadow priest, is always calling, showing that even the holiest can succumb to darkness. Shadow priest is currently a strong DPS option in both Mythic Plus and Raids, performing well in high single target and AoE damage. It is popular and competitive, but currently ranking decently in overall DPS. Disciplined Priest remains a solid healer, offering strong utility with atonement healing, though it is more niche compared to the other healers in Mythic Plus due to its high complexity playstyle. Holy Priest is a reliable healer, excelling in raid healing with consistent output, but it's slightly less favored in Mythic Plus compared to strong healers like Resto Shamans. Light and shadow are at the heart of Priest aesthetics. Whether you're casting glowing holy spells or summoning dark tendrils from the void, you feel like you're channeling a greater power. Holy Priests shine brightly in white and gold, while Shadow Priests, well, they look kind of like a walking nightmare, and that's exactly what they want you to think, so it works. In patch 11.0.5, priests are seeing mostly improvements. Power Ward Fortitude now costs less mana, and some hero talents like Sustained Potency get fixes to improve performance during combat pauses. Visual adjustments to Entropic Rift help in PvP, and From Darkness Comes Light now also benefits from holy damage, offering a bit more synergy for holy priests.
For the morally complex, whether you're healing with light or playing mind games with the void, priests are for the Doctor Strange fans who like their magic with a side of soul searching.
Up next, rogues. For those players who enjoy stabbing someone in the back and then vanishing before anyone realizes what just happened. They're like the ninjas of World of Warcraft. Pretty much. Enough said. If you like stealth, surprise attacks, and watching your enemy's health bar drop while they're still trying to figure out where you went, rogues are for you. Assassination rogues excel in poison-based damage. Subtlety is all about surprise burst attacks, and outlaw rogues, well, they bring pirate-themed chaos to every fight, and flashy swordplay and a roll of the dice style that can either make or break your damage. In case it wasn't clear yet, rogues in Azeroth are the ultimate shadow operatives, and when it comes to iconic rogues, Valeera Sanguinar is a blood elf rogue who became a close ally of Varian Wrynn and his son Anduin. Orphaned during the Scourge invasion, she was forced into gladiator combat and later fought alongside Varian as he regained his identity. Though independent, Valeera remains loyal to the Wrynns and often serves as their protector, while also battling her own struggles with addiction to fell magic. Some say she remains a member of the Secretive Uncrowned to this day. If you crave control, unpredictability, and always being one step ahead, then this is your class. In patch 11.0.5, rogues are receiving several new talents and changes. Thrill Seeking grants an extra charge of Shadow Step or Grappling Hook, and Soothing Darkness now heals for 30% maximum health. Other adjustments include adjustments to Thistletea and Echoing Reprimand, as well as various talent improvements across all rogue specializations.
Best for those who think stealth is the only way to fight. If you ever wish that you could be as sneaky as Sherlock Holmes, Irene Adler, or you enjoy making enemies drop before they even see you, rogue's your lifestyle.
If you're looking for a class that channels the raw, untamed powers of the elements and throws lightning bolts like Zeus, summoning earthquakes, or healing with the essence of water, if you ever wanted to shout, "By fire be purged," while blasting enemies with lava, Shaman is the class for you. Shamans bring an incredibly dynamic style. Elemental Shamans are casters with a primal edge, hurling bolts of lightning and fire like an elemental storm incarnate. Enhancement Shamans, they're all about fast-paced melee with a mix of lightning strikes and weapon buffs. And Resto Shamans, they're healing bosses with their chain heals bouncing between allies like it's nobody's business. Every spec feels connected to the raw power of nature. Shamans are spiritual leaders calling on the elements to fight for them. Characters like Thrall and Nobunny Mundo stand as iconic shamans who use their deep connection to the world's elemental forces to lead and protect their people. Fire, water, earth, air. No, I'm not about to say Avatar. Shamans have a unique connection to Azeroth itself, making their lore feel deeply ingrained in the world. Enhancement Shamans are currently a strong pick for melee DPS, dishing out high burst damage. Elemental Shamans, while a bit more unpredictable, can lay down serious AoE damage in dungeons and raids. Resto Shamans are top tier raid healers, especially with their ability to handle group-wide damage through their powerful heals. Shamans also look epic. Whether you're wielding dual weapons, crackling with lightning as enhancement, or hurling lava and chain lightning as elemental, the spell effects are incredibly satisfying. You really feel like you're bending the elements to your will, and the visual feedback is unmatched. In patch 11.0.5, Shamans are seeing a mix of visual and functional updates. All Ascendance models have been updated and Shamans can now float on water while in Ascendant form. Several new talents like Lightning Conduit and Flowing Spirits add mobility and change enhancements, while Surging Currents boost healing effectiveness. Additionally, Lava Burst damage has been increased by 20% and Earthquake damage has been increased by 17%, along with other improvements across specializations, including redesigns for key abilities like Ascendance and Ice Fury. Many talents have been reworked or removed to streamline gameplay.
Shamans are for the ones who think Avatar: The Last Airbender is a career goal, not just a show. If summoning lightning, earthquakes, and healing rain sounds like a good idea of a good time, you're in the right place.
Warriors are the no-nonsense, in-your-face, heavy-hitting juggernauts of Azeroth. Whether you're smashing skulls with a two-hander, dual-wielding weapons like a blender on steroids, or standing firm like an unbreakable wall, Warriors are all about raw, unrelenting power. If you ever thought, why cast spells when I can just punch the problem? This is your class. Playing a warrior feels like pure adrenaline. Arms warriors are all about timing and precision, massive devastating strikes with a giant weapon that leave your enemies wondering what just hit them. Fury warriors, they're the absolute embodiment of chaos, swinging two gigantic weapons so fast it feels like you're in your own personal action movie. And prot warriors, you're stone cold Steve Austin, laughing in the face of danger while taunting enemies to hit you harder. Every hit feels impactful and every ability is built around the idea of pure physical domination. Warriors are the iconic frontline fighters of Azeroth, wielding swords, shields, and axes in the battle for survival. One of the most legendary warriors in Warcraft history is Grommash Hellscream, the fearless orc chieftain who drank the blood of Manaroth and led the Warsong clan to infamy. Grommash is the embodiment of the warrior spirit, ferocious, unyielding, and unafraid to take on impossible odds. Warriors fight not for glory, but because it's in their blood. They're the first into battle and the last one standing. Right now, Fury Warriors are tearing up the DPS rankings with their ability to deal rapid, sustained damage in both single target and AoE scenarios. Arms Warriors specialize in big, devastating hits with massive crits, but they require good timing and planning to maximize their burst potential. Prot Warriors continue to be one of the strongest tanks capable of taking huge hits while keeping their party safe. Warriors exude strength and power. Whether it's gleaming plate armor, massive weapons, or sheer force of their abilities, every aspect of the warrior looks and feels brutal. Protection warriors in particular look like living walls, while arms and fury swing weapons that are often bigger than their enemies. The visual feedback from every hit makes you feel like a one-man wrecking crew. Warriors are seeing minor updates in patch 11.0.5. The icon for Champion Spear has been updated. For arm specialization, the radius of Warbreaker has been increased from 8 to 10 yards, making it more effective in hitting multiple targets. For Fury Warriors, the Crushing Force talent now increases the critical strike damage of Bloodthirst by 5 and 10% instead of just increasing its critical strike chance by 2 and 4%.
Warriors are for the folk who think 300 was a documentary on how to live your life. If you prefer solving your problems with a giant sword and a battle cry, Warriors, the no-nonsense, smash first, ask later class for you.
The Evoker is WoW's newest class, and they didn't come quietly. These dragon-infused heroes are all about wielding the raw power of the dragonflights, whether through devastating magic or life-saving healing. Evokers bring a unique playstyle to the table, blending mobility and elemental magic. Devastation Evokers are the DPS masters, using the power of the dragons to rain down fire and destruction. Preservation Evokers are healers, channeling draconic energy to protect and mend their allies. And Augmentation Evokers, they're the support class everyone wanted, buffing their allies to make their damage skyrocket. They're also the only true support class in the game. Created by the dragon aspect themselves, Evokers are the latest addition to Azeroth's lineup of heroes. They're directly tied to the legacy of the dragonflights, meaning their lore is deeply connected to powerful figures like Alexstrasza and Nozdormu. Playing an Evoker feels like tapping into ancient primal power. In patch 11.0.5, Drakthir can now choose additional classes like Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Mage, Warrior, and Warlock starting at level 10 in the Forbidden Reach. New racial updates include longer cooldowns for Tail Swipe and Wing Buffet, and non-Evoker Drakthir can now toggle between Drakthir and Visage form based on combat. For Evokers, abilities like Tail Swipe and Wing Buffet have cooldown reductions, and new talents like Unravel have seen improvements, benefiting from Iridescence Blue and offering increased damage.
Best for people who thought How to Train Your Dragon was less of a movie and more of a lifestyle. The Evokers are your jam. They're all about fire, wings, and looking fabulous while literally being a dragon.
And finally, Azeroth's best kept secret, the Masters of Fel Magic, the Summoners of Demons, and let's be honest, the class your mother probably warned you about. Warlocks. Warlocks are the ultimate spellcasters for anyone who wants to dabble in the dark arts. Affliction Warlocks spread chaos with dots, which is damage over time. Demonology Warlocks summon an army of demons to do their bidding, and Destruction Warlocks, they're the masters of big explosions. Whether you're melting faces, summoning infernals, or tearing rifts in reality, Warlocks bring that over-the-top chaotic fun factor. Warlocks embrace fel magic and demonic power, constantly walking the line between control and corruption. Iconic Warlock characters like Gul'dan exemplify the seductive power of fel energy. Warlocks may not be heroes, but they're certainly powerful, bending demons and forbidden magic to their will. Demonology Warlocks are leading the pack in DPS right now thanks to their demon army dishing out consistent damage. Affliction Warlocks bring powerful dots that scale well over time, while Destruction Warlocks excel in burst AoE with their massive Chaos Bolt crits. Everything about Warlocks screams dangerous, from dark, shadowy robes to the glowing fel-infused pets at their side. Warlocks exude a sinister vibe. The fiery chaos of destruction spells, the shadowy tendrils of affliction, and the demonic army of demonology all contribute to making you feel like a force of dark magic. In patch 11.0.5, Soul Rot's icon has been updated. For Destruction Warlocks, the Diabolic Ritual has been reworked to grant bonuses to Chaos Bolt, Rain of Fire, and Shadow Burn, now triggering powerful summons like an Overlord or Pit Lord when it expires. Additionally, Touch of Rancora has been adjusted to further boost the damage and reduce the cast time of these spells. These changes aim to prevent spamming Rain of Fire and incentivize using Chaos Bolt more strategically in Warlock rotations.
Warlocks are for the people who watch Stranger Things and think the Upside Down looks fun. If summoning demons and cursing your enemies with Eldritch Horror sounds like a good Monday to you, then welcome to the power of the dark side.
So the most fun class is, well, it's going to be the one that you vibe with and click with the most. I have a speculation on what is the most popular class, so drop your main class that you use in World of Warcraft in the comments down below. I can't wait to see what they are. I have an idea of what we might see, but I could be totally off. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Remember, it's totally free to subscribe and support the channel. And if you ever want to catch me live on Twitch, I'll put in the link down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.